Okay, we're going to talk about sorting today. Okay, so let's think about sorting these numbers 7, 4, 1, 3 in the ascending order. So our job is basically our purpose is just convert the array into having these order. Okay, so how do we sort? There's many ways, but one way to sort is basically this. So consider this thing is starting with unsorted array, okay? And then we're gonna keep expanding sorted part until eventually all parts are sorted. Okay, so that means what? So first step, you make sure at least one thing is sorted. Okay, so this is sorted. This is unsorted now. Okay, figure out what to put here. Well, what do you put? Because it's ascending order, you find out the smallest element, which is 1, here, right? So you move there. So you find out the smallest element and you move here and then keep the rest of the elements. So these are fine, but now you moved out. So in a sense, you got to do the swap so that you keep the same set of elements in the array. Okay, so the idea is what? Find the first element among the unsorted. Okay, and then swap the element. And let's say this is index k. Okay. Okay. Let k be the index of such element. Okay. And then let's say I be the index for sorted area. What is that? What does that mean? So sorted area basically is so in this case I is this. It's 0 actually. Okay. Sorted area means what? 0 up to I minus 1 is sorted area. And then the rest of it is the unsorted area. Okay, so let's step back. So in this case, I is 0. That means what? There is no sorted area because I minus 1 is negative 1. So that means 0 to negative 1. There's nothing there. Okay, unsorted area is what? 0 to n minus 1, everything. Okay, so find the element among the unsorted, which is this one. And that k, which is 2, be the index of such element. What do? You put this. This is basically the spot to expand in terms of the sorted area. Okay, so you got to swap a sub I. Let's say this is array A. Sort A and N. A is the array and N is the number of elements. So swap A sub I with A sub K. Okay, so let's apply this for the next iteration too. Okay, so now this is sorted, this is unsorted. Okay, find out the first element among the unsorted. Among the unsorted, that's the first element. And in this case, K is what? 3. Okay. And now I moved on here because this is basically up to 0 to 0. You're sorted. So 1, 2, 3 is basically unsorted area. What do? You swap, or you put this 3 into the expanded area of the sort. Now this is sorted. Makes sense? And then what? Keep the rest of the elements. For that, you've got to swap. Okay. Now, for the next iteration, I should be incremented by 1 because you want to increment the sorted area. And that's basically hotspot. So far we got this. So you got to find out the first element among the unsorted area and then put that in a sub I and then swap it with the a sub k. Okay. So that's basically the idea. So that's the sorting algorithm. Okay. So now you do what? For I equals 0 up to n minus 1. Okay. So now for that one, this is sorted area and this is unsorted area. And given this sorted and unsorted area, you scan the unsorted area and find out the index having the minimum and then swap a sub I and a sub k. And for that matter, you'll have things sorted at the end of the iteration. Good. Okay, so let's implement the idea using the program by writing the program. Okay, let's say sort.c. Okay. So standard io.h. Okay, main function. So let's say what? Let's first assume the program reads input from the terminal. So probably enter n, and then you receive n. And then now let's just think about double array. Okay, so you create n doubles, use calloc. So for calloc, you have to include standard library. So for calloc, you have to give what? Number of element and then size of each element. So you created an array and then you receive it's a double type. So you receive each of the numbers from the terminal. So now you do that. So what you do is basically what? You call sort function. Okay, so say this is sort function. Sort function is basically taking this array and then you're going to sort in place. Okay. So at the end of the running of the sort function, now things will be sorted. And then we're going to basically print out the sorted array, %g, and a sub I. And then at the end of the day, you do that. So your job is writing the sort function. As I said, or in I equals 1, n minus 1. Okay. What do? So let's say for each iteration, remember, sorted area is what? 0 up to I minus 1. And unsorted is what? I up to n minus 1. Okay, the idea is what? Number one, find the first element, which is actually the index among the unsorted. Okay, so that means what? What do? You scan, well, actually, let's worry about that later. So let K be the index, and then I'm going to create another function, first index. Okay, so this is the array. So here, I is the information for the given, so that first index to figure out, can figure out the unsorted area. Okay, it's kind of too long, so I'll just split the comment here. So I is given so that the first index can figure out this unsorted area. So let's say you have a function and then you got the first index. Okay, K will be the first index. What do? You swap it. So you're gonna call swap, right? Remember the swap? Then swap with what? A sub I and A sub K. That was our algorithm, selection sort algorithm. You already remember the swap function. Okay, so I'm going to write two functions. Anyway, that's basically the sort function. Okay, let's give what? First index and then the swap function. Okay, for the first index, so it should return the index, and then first index is taking three things: the array, the first two, and then I, where the unsorted area starts. And then swap is basically pass by pointer. So you have to change the values. Okay. So now let's think about first index. First I. Okay. Let's say first I. So what do? You got to scan first I plus 1, first I plus 2 up to and minus 1. Okay. So how do you initialize like the first index? The starting one. Okay. So in a sense, you just leave the first I to be the, so I'm going to return the index first I. Right. So we're going to start with K and then return K. First I should be the first one. And then what do? You got to start with K plus 1. You scan from K plus 1 up to and minus 1. You increment that. So what do? If A K, and then you got to compare AK and AI. And then you were trying to find out the first index, the smallest one in our case, because we're thinking about the ascending order. So that means what? If, in a sense, F is smallest, A sub I is smallest, meaning what? So far, AK was the smallest, but somehow if AI is smaller than that, then now what? We have to update that. Okay. Now, K should be updated to be I, because now A sub I is the smallest. Does it make sense? And that's it. So we are done with writing. Oh, we actually have to write the swap function. Swap PA, PB. You create a temporary for backup. And now you can update PA. And then PB has to be the backup value of PA. Okay. Now let's compile that. Sort.c. Okay, A that out. So enter A. So let's say 4. And then 7, 4, 413 was our number. And then this is not good. Yeah, because I wrote the swap wrong. Yeah, swap with AI and then it's okay. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, 4, 7, 4, 1, 3. Okay, it's sorted well.